I'm Greg Jarrett, and you are in the strategy room. Well, it looks like a heated 2016 Republican primary battle is already underway. Just hours after former Florida Governor Jeb Bush announced he would actively explore a run for the presidency, Senator Rand Paul blasted Bush's position on Common Core, and then after the White House's policy change on Cuba, Paul and Senator Marco Rubio went after each other on President Obama's decision on Cuba. Joining us now with reaction, Ashley Intartaglia, Director of Operations with the Victory Group. Chuck Rocha joins us, President of Solidarity Strategies. Welcome to both of you. Ashley, it didn't take long for the personal sniping to get underway ahead of the 2016 presidential primaries on the GOP side. What do you make of it? What does this portend?
Well, I think it's a good thing that we have all of this dialogue starting, and I think the farther we get into the process, the more of this you're going to see. I know that Senator Rubio just came out either today or yesterday saying that if Jeb Bush got in, it wasn't going to hinder him from getting into the race if he decided that that's what he wanted to do. So I think a competitive Republican primary is exactly what we need. I think it's healthy for everybody. I hope to see the Democratic primary become a little bit more competitive too. And I think that Republicans really need to listen to what these candidates have to say, be open-minded to it, and not use the unfortunate Republican litmus test on everybody. I think that Jeb Bush and Chris Christie are two candidates that really say it like it is, and we need to see more of that from the whole field.
Ashley's argument is certainly not a new one, and it's a good one. And the argument goes like this. This kind of collision of ideas is healthy. A spirited debate tends to create stronger candidates. So, maybe this helps the GOP, and in some ways, Hillary Clinton's just sort of dangling there as the presumptive nominee.
Well, I'll take it back to an old analogy. I grew up on a farm in East Texas, and out in the chicken coop, you used to get the roosters strutting around, and think about all the chickens being donors. Because right now, all this strutting is about getting the notice and the attention of all the donors to make sure nobody wanted up somebody else, because money is more than the mother's milk of politics now. It's actually the oxygen that we breathe, and nobody wants nobody else to get out front and be noticed more by the donors.
Well, but, what do you mean by that? I mean, are you suggesting that this is bad for Republicans?
No, I think it's going to be an interesting cycle because we've never seen openness on both sides. Sure, I want a spirited debate. Sure, I'd like to see us get out there and put all of our ideas out there. But this early on, it's about the candidates making sure that the donors know that they're real, that they're not going to stand by idly, and make sure that their ideas are heard first.
Yeah, let me go back to our opening, which talked about, Jeb Bush, very staunch support of Common Core curriculum. I got to say, I was looking at the recent polls, Ashley, Fox News polls, and it shows that roughly 60% of Republican adults, parents, are vehemently opposed to Common Core. I mean, they absolutely despise that. How much is that going to hurt Jeb Bush?
Well, I mean, everybody's going to disagree with somebody on some issue, and there's a lot of very big topics that are going to be part of the dialogue this year.
That's really a big one. I must tell you, that really strikes a raw nerve among many Republican parents or parents at large.
Right. Well, I think the best part of this very competitive primary is to see what other alternatives some of the other candidates bring to the table. I mean, it's great to have discussion and debate, but I think that the other candidates who are running for Republican nomination are going to have to do more than say that they disagree with it. They're going to have to come forward and say, we disagree with it, here's why, and here's our alternative to it. So it'll be interesting to see what other ideas are brought forth on that subject.
Hey, Chuck, with Jeb Bush jumping in with an exploratory look at the presidency, and clearly the others are positioning themselves as well, and given that there might be a very spirited debate among potential contenders ahead of the primaries, what does this do to Hillary Clinton? Does she just sit back and watch and lose attention, or does this prompt her to jump in earlier than anticipated?
The first rule of politics is you never let your opponents identify who you are and what you stand for. What somebody's done is run a poll, and the only common core is a vulnerability there. And of course, you see Hillary Clinton sitting back, and I think Hillary Clinton will have a debate of her own, and I think that the left will put up a candidate. And I think there'll be several candidates.
Who?
I think that you hear talk out there about O'Malley. I think you hear talk out there about Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, but she says she insists all along she's not going to do it.
Yeah, I think that it's too early for anybody to know really what they're going to do right now if you're going to take on the machine, which is Hillary Clinton. Yeah. But I still believe as a Democrat, she will have some primary opposition.
Chuck, you didn't mention the vice president, Joe Biden.
Look, I never underestimate the old bull. Don't never underestimate Joe Biden. And I think that he has every opportunity to get in, and he has a following out there to have a real candidacy. But you haven't seen the telltale signs yet.
Well, I don't know that he has a following. I don't think he's in double digits of the latest polling among Democrats. But he certainly makes things interesting. Chuck Rocha, Ashley and Tartaglia, good to see you both. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
For more on this developing story, stay with FoxNews.com. I'm Greg Jarrett. Thanks for watching.